Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. Possibly a double today. It should be anyway, unless something goes wrong. It should be, but at least one. And the one is 500 Days of Summer. This is a rom-com. I'm not really a big fan of romance. The only category I watch less is horror. I hate horror. Romance, I'm not really a fan. But I can watch romance when it's in a hybrid of like different genres. So a rom-com, I can watch a rom-com. There's plenty of rom-coms that I've watched that I've actually liked. So, you know, the comedy side of it, I don't know, just like romantic comedies just have a certain vibe to them that I kind of like. I'm a sucker for them sometimes. So, yeah, I'm watching 500 Days of Summer. Why this one? Well, I have heard good things. And I've heard good things from people who also don't watch romance like me. There are people who I know that love action movies, you know, action, and not necessarily superheroes, but like blockbusters, and I guess even like, you know, stuff like Tarantino movies, stuff like that. People who don't typically watch these types of movies. People like that I've heard them saying that this movie's good. It's got a serious twist. It's quite sad at times. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'll put this on my list because there's people who don't normally watch these types of movies that are saying it's good because of certain reasons, and I'm just like, okay. But apparently it has like a really deep story twist in it, so I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna find out. It's on Amazon Prime Video, so that's good. It also says in the first 4 words in the synopsis, in this anti-romantic comedy, first 5 words, anti-romantic. What's that about? What does that mean? In this anti-romantic comedy about love and fate, a young greeting card writer, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is helplessly searching for the girl of his dreams, and his new co-worker, Summer Finn, Zoe Deschanel, may just be the one. So, okay. Good cast. I'm gonna look up the rest of the cast in a second. But the 500 days of their offbeat relationship reveal. 500. That's where the title comes from. Reveal that the road to happiness can be unpredictable, uncontrollable, and unbelievable. Right. Okay. Let me check in if anyone else is in this, because those are already 2 big names in the lead role. So it's also got Chloe Grace Moretz, but I managed to be very young. It's like this 2009 this came out, so I don't even know if I even recognize her because that's a while ago, and she's still quite young now. Clark Craig is in this, the guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Phil Coulson. Minka Kelly, I recognize her. Okay. Some familiar faces. So there's a new girl at work. He clearly likes her. They talk to each other sometimes. That's about it so far. He wanted to be an architect, but ended up working in that place where I think they're making greeting cards, whatever. But yeah, he's in love with her after a few conversations. Me personally, I don't believe in love at first sight, and this is love at fourth sight, which I also don't believe in. But I'm intrigued to see where this goes, because he's clearly like into her like a lot, and she talks to him. She's friendly, so I'm waiting to see what the twist is. You know, there's a lot of things in real life for a lot of people where they really like someone that they work with or whatever, and they start acting different, acting weird. That's just a human impulse, I guess. And this guy is the perfect example of that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is really playing this character really well, playing this type of character, because he's kind of on and off as well. Because like she spoke to him in an elevator, and he's to his work friends, he's just like, she doesn't like me anymore. And all she said was the weekend was good. And he was like, the way she said it was good, clearly she's with someone, therefore she doesn't like me, and I'm over her. And the next thing he likes her again. He's acting like someone who likes someone. Okay, so she doesn't believe in love. They're having this conversation. Him, his work friend, and her, right? They're at this karaoke bar, whatever. But she doesn't believe in love, which makes sense because at the start of the movie, they really like the narrator tells you that her parents are divorced, and I think that's part of the reason why. But yeah, she thinks love is fantasy, and she also likes being alone. So pretty sure she's not interested in him. Judging by that, she's just friendly with him, that's all. So she wanted to be friends because she thought he was interesting. Then a couple scenes later they kissed. Right, okay. Literally like 5 minutes ago she was talking about how she wants to be alone and she's not interested in anyone. So they're in a relationship, getting intimate. She's not looking for anything serious. So this is casual, even though he's clearly in love with her. This is just gonna go wrong. I feel like the point of this movie is to show that even though he's clearly interested, I think it's kind of showing you that they're not actually really compatible. Yeah, they get along at times, and literally like he fell in love with her because she liked a musician that he was listening to. She's like, I like him, and that's where this all started from. But even then, like, even if it starts with something as weak as that, like, they could still have chemistry and whatever. And they've had ups in their relationships and downs, and they have arguments. But yeah, ultimately, like, you know, even though they're doing things as if they're in relationships, they're having sex, they're showering together, they're kissing, they're doing all these things. They're still doing these things, but despite that, she doesn't want to be in a proper relationship. She's just, it's just a casual thing. Which is fine, but like he is clearly into her, so like it leads to certain arguments. He's like, how are we just friends with doing all this? She's just like, she doesn't want anything serious. There's a scene in a bar where a prick hits on her and he punches him in the face, gets in a fight, but she doesn't like that. She doesn't like the fact that he defended her. She doesn't like the fact that he got physical with it, and then that leads to an argument. So like I feel like overall, like more and more as it goes on, it's trying to portray the fact that it's not really meant to be. As much as he wants it to be, it's not really meant to be. Maybe that's why in the synopsis it said anti-rom-com. This movie moves so fast. I mean, it is an hour and a half long. It's not that long a movie. But still, like, one moment they're together and then they argue and then they're back together and then now she's left her job and she's gone. And now he hates her. And now he's going on dates and he's telling his dates about her. So they meet each other again, not by fate, but I guess maybe by fate, but mainly because their common work friend, mutual work friend, that's the right word, had a wedding. And they kind of like, they got friendly again. She invited him to a party. So, okay, now it's, I'll be right back. So I went away because like, it looked like an interview sort of scene where like different characters of the movie were basically characters from that office being interviewed about the love of their life or who their dream girl is, which I thought was intriguing. It was followed by a very deep scene, so there's like a side-by-side scene, expectation versus reality. So like he meets her at this party and she just invited him as a friend, and his expectation you see on the left, like how he imagined it, like her being so loving, and then on the right is reality. She's just inviting him as a friend. He's talking to the rest of the guests at the party. I've not explained it like it's sad, but it's actually quite a sad scene, and I feel like a lot of guys out there and even women as well would have had a similar experience, expecting one thing and just not getting that thing. But yeah, like as I said before, like it's just the movie's just constantly showing how they're not really made for each other, and he's the one, it's mainly one-sided. He's the one who wants it so much, and yeah, he had her as a friend with benefits, but she didn't feel the same way, and it never looked like she'd feel the same way. She just, she felt how she felt, and it just wasn't, it wasn't reciprocating, but he just couldn't really accept it. So obviously, like, he works at a place that makes greeting cards, Valentine's Day, whatever, greeting cards in general, just cards. They make cards, birthday, whatever. And he goes on a rant about how these cards are basically just us helping people who don't want to say it themselves. They want help through the card. I'm not explaining it well. Again, I'm not good at explaining things, but like he goes on a rant basically about how these cards are fraudulent, basically, how people don't really need them, and then he quits his job because he just had enough. Oh, by the way, it's very easy to recognize Chloe Grace Moretz, even though she's a lot younger. It's very easy. You can clearly tell it's her. Like, there's a few actors and actresses that I've seen them acting as a kid and they look nothing like the adult version. I'm just like, wait, that's them? Because that's why I was thinking like Chloe Grace Moretz in 2009 There's no way I can recognize her, but actually, yeah. Yes. She's basically, in this, she's a kid who's a friend of the main character. So, like, he talks to her about what he thinks of Summer, who is the girl he's in love with. It's interesting, towards the end, they meet up and they go to the movies to see The Graduate, which I've heard about. So this is about a college graduate who's torn between his older lover and her daughter, a weird love triangle. And then Summer cried at the ending. So what I find extra intriguing is, right, it's been revealed towards the end that Summer eventually got married. And she also, like, she got married within a year. Within a year of breaking up with him, she's married to someone, but she didn't believe in love at the start of the movie, and she didn't really want a relationship, but then they're having a conversation right now, they're having a heart to heart. Like, she didn't want to be anyone's girlfriend, but she became someone's wife, and in that sense, I'm a bit confused. I still stand by what I said. Like, she just said just now, like, it just happened. She woke up one day and she knew. Earlier, right, he said to her, like, with love, it's just something that comes, like, you wake up and you just know. And she's basically telling him, like, she never got that feeling with him, but she got it with someone else. Makes sense. Makes sense. I still feel the same way though, like she literally made it clear. She made it clear that she wasn't into a relationship with him. Yeah, I know she said it in general, but like with him she said like she wasn't interested in anything serious. And I guess it was him, like she found the right guy eventually within a year, which shocks me the most. I mean, this whole storyline happens within 500 days. But he was painting her as this perfect girl that, you know, he loved and was obsessed with, but she never said she liked him back, or she loved him back. She liked him, clearly, but like she just wanted something casual with him, and she made that clear since the very start. So like, yeah, it's like in a lot of relationships are like that, I guess. Like, I don't want this, I don't want that, when in reality a lot of the time they do want that thing, just not with you, with someone else. It happens a lot, like from both ways around. It doesn't just happen with like this way. Also, women experience that as well, men as well. So like, there are real life relationships that actually do relate to this, which I find quite interesting. Because like a lot of movies from Hollywood that involve romance, they're kind of unrealistic. This one has a lot of realism in it. And I guess that's why a lot of people like it. So the final scene is quite a nice one, because it seems like he finally finds someone who, you know, she might have the same feelings for. I mean, obviously they've just met, so it's not the same, but like already just from one scene, it kind of seems like she's more of a match for him than Summer ever was. And to be fair, that's probably kind of the point of the movie. Like, the point of the movie was pretty much like Summer was never actually right for him, even though he wanted her to be and he thought she was. But she never reciprocated that, and she didn't make him think there was a chance. Like, she literally said from the start, I don't want anything serious. Like, it just she mentioned that she didn't believe in love, you know, right from the start. But like, he really wanted her to be this perfect girl, and she never was. And then he finally meets someone who actually might, you know, like him back. You know, and it's a different vibe, and you can just tell from that one scene, like, yeah, you know, it just wasn't meant to be with Summer, and yeah, obviously with that new girl, it's just one scene at the end, so it doesn't really tell you anything about what happens in the future. But let's just say she does agree to meet him for a coffee, so who knows where that could lead. But that's a nice way to end it. I think that's a nice way to end it. But it's intriguing. It's a very interesting. Interesting movie. I'm glad I watched it, and I can see why people like it compared to a lot of rom-coms. So yeah, that was interesting. Also, the girl that he meets at the end is called Autumn. Right. Well, I'm pretty sure there's not a sequel, but probably because the sequel would be unrealistic. But yeah, just I mean, Autumn is a woman's name. Like, I've seen people with the name Autumn, but still, that's just, you know, 500 Days of Summer, Autumn. Right. Okay. Anyway, yeah. That was good though. That was good for an hour and a half. That's a lot. they put a lot in an hour and a half. It's interesting how people. Interesting to see, like when you see Sony movies. It's interesting how people, different directors make movies, no matter the category. There are some directors that can make such a big, in-depth storyline and put it into a 90-minute movie like this one. And there's other directors that will make something 2.5 hours and it's still not enough to do everything. I just find that very interesting. But yeah, that's the art of filmmaking. You know, you got to be able to, whatever time you got, whether it's hour and a half or 3 hours, you just got to make it fit. Like, you got to get the pacing right, the tone right, the characters have got to, you know, do their job. And yeah, sometimes you create a masterpiece. I don't feel this is a masterpiece, but in terms of rom-coms, it's certainly up there because of the amount of realism it has. There's a bit less of the unrealistic stuff. It does have that, but most of the unrealistic stuff is like in his head. So like it's not like he imagined the whole thing. Like, she is there. Like, she is there with him. But like, his idea that there's this, you know, big deep relationship, that isn't there, like, because she doesn't feel the same way. But yeah, I thought that's a very thought-provoking movie, that's for sure. And I'm fairly sure if you just Google the movie, I'm fairly sure there's going to be very many debates about this. But that was worth watching. This is your boy Davidoff. He's like, actually, rating 9 out of 10. It genuinely was very good. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see you.